Welcome back to All Abilities Homestead. Today is Wheelchair Wednesday, and I'd like to talk about something that affects us all. The difference between depression and frustration. Because so often I think people immediately jump to depression and medications and doctors and all of those type of things for situations that are temporary. More often than not, what you're experiencing is frustration. It's frustration of not being able to do what you want to do or what you plan to do. Today, for example, is a very rainy day. I got up. I slept really great because of the rain, but I got up and got in the shower and thought I was going to go teach a class. And then I went out on my front porch and saw that my entire front yard is flooded, including my sidewalk and the driveway. So while I could cross that water and risk it to get there, it could do a lot of damage to my wheelchair. So, in the event of a fire, I could get out, but I'm choosing not to get out and run the risk of ruining the motors and everything on my wheelchair. So, if I sat in bed or sat in my room all day and stewed about it, I would get depressed. However, I know it's a temporary situation. The water is going to subside, and I will be able to get out again, just not today. So I find other things to distract myself with. I know I've got plenty of food in the house, so I start working on dinner. I've thrown some chili, everything in there for chili for dinner tonight. And I'll do a little bit of baking, and I cleaned up my kitchen. I can't really get started cooking until I clean up the kitchen because it just bugs me. And I went ahead and pulled out everything to slice up some cheese. I don't have any grated cheese in the house, and while yes, I do have a cheese grater, I don't want to have to clean it, so I'm just cutting it up into thin strips. We can use that on top of the chili. And I look for things that I can be doing in my house while I've got time to kill. Archer's in there watching TV, and so I'm sitting not even 5 feet away from him. While he watches that, I'm just using the time to prep a bunch of food. I also planned out some future YouTube videos, and I worked on some of my samples for upcoming classes that I'm going to teach. So it's basically playing a mind game with yourself instead of letting yourself sit and focus on what you can't do. You find other things that you can do, and you're productive and feeling like you're accomplishing something. I don't think enough people realize that it's all in your own head, that if you spend the time focusing on the negativity and what you can't do or your limitations, you're wasting the time that you have to be doing what you can do. Stay positive. Focus on the positive things. Can I go out and butcher a cow and provide meat for my family? No, I can't. But I can cook it if somebody else brings the meat to me or the grocery store. I probably could make cheese from scratch. I don't really want to. Maybe sometime in the future I'll think about it. But I can sit here and slice up the cheese and get it ready for future meals. I'm slicing up enough cheese right now that it could be used for quesadillas for lunches or on top of salads or anything else that I want to cook. Taco Tuesday, and on top of chili. A little bit I'll probably cube up and put in my salad. So what can you do to stay positive, to focus on the positive, and to not stress about being stuck in the house or not being able to go places? What can you do that would be helpful to other people in your household, even if they're capable of cooking the food and doing those things? If I do it, then it frees up their time for things that I can't do. Does that make sense? Do you ever stop and think about that? I joined several Facebook groups that are all people in wheelchairs because I was looking for ideas for future videos and to make other connections. And it's a little bit sad to watch all of the negative comments and the people complaining about whatever their situation is, because it's something you do have control over. And I know you don't have control over being in a wheelchair, and I know you probably don't have control over how much money you have coming in because you can't get out and get a job, but your attitude is something that you have complete control over. Deciding where you want to spend your time, if it's just going to be sitting in front of a TV all day, or if you can actually be doing something. Focusing on giving back to other people instead of focusing on what you're missing in your life. By the way, I just love doing these cooking videos like this because I speed it up to 10 times the actual speed, and then I feel like I'm going really fast. If only I really could slice things up as quickly as this video shows. Prepping the tomato. Are you getting those little hard yellow bits on the inside of your tomatoes? It's driving me nuts that the store-bought tomatoes it's a very hard core all the way down the middle, which is why I have to take out all the pulpy and the yellow bit that the pulp attaches to, because it's too hard to bite into. So you can see at this point, everybody's coming home from work and school, and my house is getting busy. That's why I end up having to do voiceovers on most of these, because it's not a quiet house. With toddlers and a teenager, it seems like there's always noise around me. But this is my big salad I prepped for the week. I'll have it with every meal coming up for the week and substitute some. I also grilled up a bunch of chicken, but I didn't get a video of that. And have it in a container in the refrigerator that I'll put with my salad on the days that we have meals that are not necessarily great for my diet. So I put the tongs keep in the container and snap the lid on it, and then I keep it in the refrigerator so it's easy to grab and go whenever I get hungry. Then I go from this to getting more baking stuff gathered together. I'm thinking I'm going to bake some banana nut bread for Christmas gifts. I'll go ahead and wrap them and freeze them. I really should take you on a tour of my kitchen. Maybe I'll do that next week. In order to make things accessible for me with setting low and not being able to reach upper cabinets, I've arranged it so most of the things are down low. Most of the things I need to get to. If they're not things that I use or that I need to get to, I don't worry about it. Anyway, I hope those are just things that you'll think about. When you feel like you're having a bad day, think about, is it depression or is it really just frustration over a temporary situation? Because it will get better. The rain will stop. The water will subside. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but there's always a new day, and the sun will come back up tomorrow. I hope you're having a great week, and I hope that this has given you some type of value. If it has, please give it a thumbs up. Have a blessed week.